Are you ready? The Power Hour with Amit Inamdar is your single most source of credible real estate advice, where Amit will answer your questions ranging from home financing, home buying and home selling in today's real estate market. So come join the Power Hour with Amit Inamdar.
Only real estate show filled with credibility, authority and expertise. Every Friday 4 p.m. only on Radio Zindagi.
Radio Zindagi 1550 AM के साथ जी जा.
The views, opinions, and statements expressed in the following program reflect the views of the program contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views of AAA Broadcasting LLC and its management or its sponsors.
Own sweet home, own sweet home. I dream of my own sweet home. Right here, right now. Amit Inamdar will show you how. Call Amit and you are set. Or just visit ownsweethome.net.
DRE license number 01355522 and NMLS number 236574.
वेलकम दोस्तों, मैं हूं हरलीन और उस एक्साइटिंग शो में मैं आपका स्वागत करती हूं. इट्स कॉल्ड Power Hour with Amit Inamdar. As you all know, Amit has been in this business for more than 12 years and he's here to help you. तो अगर आपके पास कोई भी real estate related question है, आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं at 510-770-1550 and ask a question live on air. But for some reason, if you're unable to get in, you can always submit a question for a personal response. Just go to Amit's website, ownsweethome.net and click on the radio show link to submit your question. Also, if you find कि भाई हमें ये वेबसाइट का नाम थोड़ा याद नहीं है, all you have to do is just type in Amit Inamdar on Google and you'll find all the details right there. So let's start off the show. Amit, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Harleen, and hello, friends. Own Sweet Home, and welcome to my show. Power Hour with Amit Inamdar. Today we are talking about loan transactions. And as you know, the loan transactions can get very, very complex. And it affects all the parties involved in the transaction. So who are involved in the transaction? It's the seller, the buyer, the agents, and everybody else who is connected, who has invested their time in it. For example, seller gets affected if the buyer's loan is not approved and property comes back on the market. Buyer loses the home of their dreams if the loan goes south. And if somebody is trying to do a refinance, their loan may get declined because of some issues with the loan, and they may lose better loan terms going forward. So it's not only important to get the right loan in the beginning, but also plan for the future changes in your home ownership. And that's where my advice comes into play. Look at last 4 to 5 years. What happened? Many homeowners lost their homes for not planning properly and overextending themselves and depending on the attractive teaser rates, thinking the real estate will continue to go up forever. As they saw, the wrong loan broke their homes. And that is why it has become critical to work with me, who understands your emotional home needs and advises you objectively based on your ability to repay.
Wow, ये काफी लोगों के साथ हुआ है लास्ट 2-3 सालों में, and I'm sure a lot of viewers and listeners can identify with it. Losing a home due to wrong loans. So how do you plan for a safe ownership? How can that happen actually?
Yeah, before even we understand like the safer home ownership, you need to know like what really makes up a loan and who all are involved, or what are the criteria that are involved in making the loan approval happen. So it depends on the borrower. Okay, so the borrower himself, his credit scores and other things we'll talk about. It also depends on the type of the property. Okay, you may think, oh, I have a great credit score, I can buy anything I want. Nothing like that. It depends on the type of the property you're buying, and also depends on the lender whether your criteria fits into those lenders' underwriting guidelines. And if the underwriting guidelines are not met, you don't get a loan from that lender. You have to go to another lender. Okay, so being a real estate and mortgage broker, I have developed relationships with over 120 lenders over the years. And what it means is, if a borrower's criteria cannot be handled by a certain lender or certain bank, I can always go to another lender. and make that criteria work. And I don't have to actually test it out. Because of my experience, I'll always know, oh, this lender is not going to work. Maybe I know this other lender is going to work because they will accommodate the specifics this borrower has or this property has. And that's where advantage of having access to multiple lender comes into play. Also, as you know, the rates get affected by a lot of micro events that happen in the market. Like just yesterday or day before yesterday, Feds decided to taper their bond buying activity, and that actually shot the rates up. The unemployment rates, the GDP and all that, everything affects the rates. And the 10-year bond on a yield, on the treasury bond yield, basically if you look at that on Yahoo Finance, that's a really good indicator about where the rates are headed. So my job is, when you come to me, I ask you very thoughtful questions, understand your needs regarding financing, and get your home of your dreams and guide you through the maze of options that you may have. My job is to save you money. As I've been saying from the day number one, right? First show we talked about how I help my clients, and we talked about I help my clients by saving them money. And knowing your options, you may think that you may actually come to know which is the right option for you, which are the right terms for you, and you don't have to just go with something that's the lower rate. Because if you look at the rates that are out today in the 4.5% range, after tax breaks, they are down to like around 3% range, and inflation is 3%, right, on a long term. So you actually get the money for free. So when I say money for free, look at 30th year payments. They are going to be the same $3,000 you are paying today after 30 years. And you know the inflation have made that $3,000 look negligible. And so from that standpoint, if you have a long-term fixed rate, it's always going to save you money. And just because the rates drop, you don't have to come and refinance every time. The reason being, the refinancing itself, if you look at it, adds 30 more years to your loan. And now you bought a home at age 35, then you went to age 40, bought another refinance, and then now you have to pay until age 70. When are you going to retire? You always have to keep your retirement in mind and say, hey, the biggest expense I always have is my housing expense, and what are the ways to reduce it? And I will show you the loan programs that will help you reduce them. And that's how I help and make sure the refinance is right for you or not.
Absolutely. मुझे याद है कि मेरे एक फ्रेंड ने घर खरीदा and we went to his house and we congratulated him कि यार तुमने घर लिया है, congratulations. And he says नहीं घर मेरा नहीं है, अभी बैंक का है, 30 सालों के बाद मेरा होगा, तब congratulate करना. तो ऐसे काफी बार होता है. जितने भी हमारे अभी listeners हैं, अगर आपको लगता है कि home owning is a very simple process, think again. And especially loans लेना बहुत ही अपने में ही एक तजुर्बा होता है. So if you want, you can always give us a call at 510-770-1550 and ask any questions relating to real estate. बात आज हम लोग लोन की कर रहे हैं. So how does one really go about the whole loan process?
Okay. So people will need a loan whether if they are buying a home or refinancing. Those are the two times they actually want to come and figure out whether they can get a loan. Sometimes they are forced to refinance because the loan terms current they have, they are changing and they are not favorable for them. And the home buyers want to make sure they get qualified for the home. So a simple pre-qualification means you give me a call and you tell me some information. I tell you, hey, this is the range you are pre-qualified for. And actually, I've updated my website recently, and it has got tons and tons of calculators for various scenarios that one may face during the home ownership or before you're owning the home. And if you go to that website, it will also tell you pre-qualification. It will tell you a range like conservative and the optimal and what's the maximum you can qualify for. And that's just the pre-qualification. You really don't need any formal letter for that, but it gives you a peace of mind, or at least tells you where you can start looking for homes based on the availability in that particular price range. Now, if you want to get pre-approved, then I have to actually go into a lot more details. I have to evaluate your credit. I have to look at your income. I have to look at your assets. You have to look at your ability to repay. And your ability to repay depends on how much debts you already have, because you can take on large number of debts just because you want to. I mean, the government or the loan lender is going to curtail that to a certain level and say, okay, that's the maximum you qualify for. So I also advise sellers for that matter. I mean, it's not just the buyers and refinance. If you look at the sellers have a very unique situation. Just because you sell your home doesn't mean you don't have to live any place. They still have to buy another home. And the situation always comes up like, do you buy first or do you sell first, right? I mean, you're already living in the house, and if you sell first and buy later, okay, fine, you will have the extra money to pay for the down payment. But look at this market. The market has such a less inventory, overbidding, all these things happening. And the seller may sell and may not find a home to buy. And that would be a weird situation. So if they have to buy first and sell later, there are certain restrictions on the amount of loan they can get. Okay, so when I do the analysis, I figure out as to what steps are involved, what needs to be done, and guide them through the process that if you want to sell now and then buy later, or buy first and sell later, whichever it is, based on their finances. I'll guide them through that and kind of say, this is where it starts. So the loan process starts with me. I mean, coming to me and having your own personal power hour with me.
Absolutely. तो जो आप कह रहे थे बहुत ही important बात है, and I just want to reiterate it, that education has to happen before you make a decision on items like financing, right?
Yes, absolutely. So informed decision always gives you a peace of mind, and that's my goal. Okay, my clients have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars through my rate monitoring system. I not only help them lower their monthly payments, however, my advice on how not to add more years to their interest payments is a critical information I give them. I think we have a call coming in.
Yes, let's take the call. Hello, you're on air.
Hello. All right. So when I say every time you refinance, you add 30 more years to the loan, I can do your loan with number of different years of amortization. Say you're already into the loan 6 years, and if you restart your loan process and add 30 more years, instead of that, I can actually do a 24-year amortization loan for you, which will have lower rates, and plus you will actually save money in the long run. Looks like they're calling back.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Hello, you're on air.
Hi, I just have a question about the loan thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
What's your name?
My name is Deepak.
Hi, Deepak. Own Sweet Home. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask, as you said, your credit depends, and then you get a credit based on your credit history and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, let's say right now I have credit cards, I have 3-4 credit cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my total would be around $15,000 to $18,000,
Mm-hmm.
the credit
Right.
kind of limit, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if I have to buy a house or something in next 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So this credit limit, should I start increasing this credit limit, take more credit cards, or just stay where it is and maintain it,
Okay. Having the money on the credit cards is good
Mm-hmm.
to prove that you are a credit worthy person. Okay. But at the same time, having that money on the credit card also reduces your borrowability, because a lender wants to make sure that the amount of money you make and the amount of money goes into various activities is limited by a certain percentage of your income. Okay. And going forward, as of January 10th, is going to be around 43%. And if you have too much debt on the credit card, your qualification goes down. So you don't have to really do that. First of all, you need to know where your credit score is. Okay.
No. It's not about the debt. I'm saying the credit limit. Debt, I have very less debt.
I see. So you increase the credit limit. Yes. So anytime. So if you look at the ratio of your amount of usage of your credit to your credit limit, the lower the ratio, better your credit scores. Okay. So if your bank is able to increase your credit limit, but you don't borrow more, yes, your credit score will look more attractive because you are not borrowing to the maximum limit. And it exactly works opposite when you buy a Macy's card, and for $400 credit, you use $350 on it. You're using almost 90% of your credit, and your credit score drops.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I try to maintain from all my credit cards, I try to maintain around less than 20% usage on all my credit cards.
Okay.
So,
can we take this offline? I mean, it looks like you have more deeper questions, and we can talk about it after my show around 4:30.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Deepak.
you.
Thank you so much for calling. And जितने भी हमारे listeners हैं, आप हमें call कर सकते हैं at 510-770-1550. We have lots of calls coming in. Let's take the next call. Hello, you're on air.
Hi, I had a question. I have a 30-year mortgage at 4.4% actually. And looks like we're planning to sell our house in the next 5-6 years. Do you think it is advisable for me to go for a 5-1 arm?
Okay. See, you can think about going for a 5-1 arm, but what if the 5-6 years down the line, the market is so slow, okay, and that you can't sell your house, or maybe you can sell your house at lower than what it's worth today, okay? So the thing is, I mean, there are a lot of other questions. It's not just your 5 years of home ownership that comes into play when you are trying to look for a 5-1 arm. It has to do with the market conditions at that time. So if you really had a 30-year fixed rate going forward, you can always say, hey, if the house doesn't sell, I'll rent it out because I know my monthly payments are still low and the rents are high, and basically I'll be able to make positive cash flow on that. So the ARM loans are really good for people who have a lot of cash on them because they can pay it off any day if they wanted to. Okay? And what's your name?
Okay. My name is Vivek.
Thank you, Vivek, for
Thanks,
the call.
Vivek, for calling in. Let's take the next call, Amit.
Yes.
Hello, you're on air.
Hello, how can I help? This is Amit.
My name is Krishna. Actually, I have a question regarding a loan for buying a property.
Yes, Krishna.
Hey, so right now I'm getting around like 100K, and like, is it like, whether I can get a loan for buying a 600K property?
I see. Okay. So we are going to cover that as on our next question after this break. So just listen to what I have to say and call me after the show, and I can do specific analysis for you. Okay. And meantime, you can go to my website, but I'm going to answer exactly the question you have. And thanks for this lead-in, Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you so much for calling. अगर आपके पास भी कोई क्वेश्चन है, आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं at 510-770-1550. अमित इनामदार हमारे साथ है. अगर आपको लगता है कि for some reason you are unable to get through, you can always go onto his website, which is ownsweethome.net. वहां पर आपको काफी सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी. अगर आपको रेडियो शो के लिए कोई भी इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए, you can just pose a question there and we will take that up in the show. You can actually reach Amit at 510-364-6686. That's his direct number, and you can reach him at that number as well. Or you can just Google Amit Inamdar and you'll find all his contact details there. So we have lots of calls coming up.
Okay, let's
Amit,
first answer Krishna's question. Okay,
Yes.
he wants to make sure he gets qualified for the home.
Yes. So how do you get qualified? That's
right.
a big question.
So first of all, okay, I mean, when I want to qualify you for the home, I have to collect quite a bit of information from you. To pre-qualify, just give me a call and I'll tell you verbally what it is. But to pre-approve you, I will look at your W-2s for past 2 years. They tell me basically what's your consistency of income is for past 2 years. Okay, and you are in the same line of profession working for past 2 years. Then I look at your pay stubs. The pay stubs tell me that your income is still continuing. Okay, and the year-to-date income matches your salary and all that. Then I look at your assets. Your assets include your anything that you can liquidate and put it in the bank as a liquid funds. That will be your savings account, checking account, stocks, bonds, CDs, certificate of deposits, and things like that. And once you look at that, then I also look at your 401ks because those may be helpful in terms of getting the reserves that are needed for the home. Or sometimes people can get a loan from 401k to put it as a down payment. So that will come into play. So once I have all that information, I run your credit report, of course, with your authorization. And once I run the credit report, I calculate what's called a debt to income ratio. So all your debts, meaning new housing payments, new property taxes, new HOA dues, the mortgage insurance if you have one, then look at your car payments, your student loans, your credit card minimum payment dues and all that. And I divide all that monthly payments by your monthly gross income. That's before the taxes. So, and if that ratio is below 45%, you are qualified for the loan. Now, of course, this ratio changes as of January 10th next year to 43%. And that means you're going to be qualified for around $30,000 less than what you qualify for today. So I hope that answered, Krishna, your question. And we have a new caller coming in.
Yeah, let's take the next call. Hello, you're on air.
Hello, Own Sweet Home. This is Amit.
Yes. Who's speaking?
This is Amit Inamdar, Own Sweet Home.
Are you Amit? Can I talk to Amit?
Yes, speaking. This is Amit.
You're not Amit.
What do you mean I'm not Amit? All right. This
Thank
is
you so
Amit
much
Inamdar. Thanks for the call.
Hello.
All right.
Hello, you're on air.
Hi there. My question is, if I want to buy a house, how can I show my FCNR deposits that I have in India as my credits right now, or as my balances right now?
Right. So if they are in your name, okay, you can always show your funds, dividing that by the exchange rate right now, and as an initial submission for the loan. However, during the first week or two of the loan process, out of the 30 days, you will have to have those funds back in the U.S. currency. And if show the lender that's where the funds came from, and show the paper trail that money was really yours. And that's what will actually tell them this is the actual money you have for down payment.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Amit.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Let's take the next call. Hello, you're on air.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to know about interest rate on a duplex.
Interest rates on what?
On a duplex?
Or duplex. I see. Okay. I don't have the rate sheet with me, but give me a call after the show, and I will definitely be able to quote you the rate based on not only the duplex, the loan amount, the credit score, and if you're refinancing, what your current amounts are, and the loan to value ratios. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I just refinanced.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just refied it a month ago. Would I still be able to refi it again?
If the rates are attractive, yes, you can. Typically, lenders have a 6-month holding period. Just make sure your terms don't ask you to pay back all the costs that were paid on your behalf. If you refinance and take away their business because all the efforts they made kind of disappears when you do that. So usually people will refinance every 4 to 6 months to kind of give the benefit to the person who actually arranged the loan for you, and also the lender from that standpoint.
I didn't pay any fees on that. There was
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. You didn't pay, so somebody else paid for you. Okay. So that's why they are going to penalize you, because if you paid it yourself, it doesn't matter. Okay, because somebody else helped you with the fees and all that. That's why you have to kind of give them the business for at least certain amount of time, and that's the fair thing to do. I mean, I can do your loan; it won't affect me and you, but it will affect the person who did the loan. And I just like to be fair in this business. That's all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling. And जितने भी हमारे listeners हैं, मैं जल्दी से अमित की details दे दूं. अगर आपको अमित को reach करना है, उनका number है 510-364-6686. That's his direct number. You can actually go on to his website, which is ownsweethome.net. वहाँ पर आपको काफी सारी जानकारी मिल जाएगी. You can also just pose a question there and we'll take it up online. बहुत सारी calls आ रही हैं, but हमें ये topic भी बहुत अच्छे से cover करना है. Because this show is all about giving information to you so that you can feel educated and equipped so that you can take decisions which are very, very long term, I guess. So, एक चीज बहुत बारी आती है about, loan underwriter. तो ये loan underwriter होता कौन है, and how does this whole process really work?
Right. So the loan underwriter is your God, okay, right? Basically, he is the one who is going to approve or reject your loan, or maybe give you a tough time to make sure everything that you submit is basically in order, okay? He's a person who is hired by the lender. Okay, and he has to follow the lender guidelines. If the loans are going to be government sponsored, then he has to follow the government guidelines, and he has investors behind this loan, and he has to follow the investor guidelines to analyze your financial and credit worthiness to approve your loan. They are tasked with the burdens of making the loans that make money for the investors, of course giving you the money, but at least making money for the investors in return. So they have a tremendous due diligence that got to do with what you provide them. And being in this business for so many years, I mean, I have faced almost every kind of possibilities that may exist. But the rules change, the rules of the game change. I mean, the beginning 2014, January 10th, the new qualified mortgage rules are coming into effect. That will change the name of the game. That will change how much you will qualify for. That will change how they qualify you. Because unless those rules are followed, the government won't buy the loans from the banks or the lenders who are giving it to them. So it's going to get a little bit stricter as of next year.
तो ये बहुत सारी, I think, it's not just education for people who are buying or selling homes. It's also educating yourself in this business. Like you said, it's completely evolving as we speak. तो एक जैसे आपने कहा कि he's really like a god. What is the criteria that the underwriter looks for? Like, what is his criteria?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, he's going to look at you as your income. Okay, to make sure you're making enough income, you have enough down payment, and you have the credit score to that makes the loan available to you. If your credit score is very low because you had a short sale or a foreclosure in recent years, you're going to find it very hard to get a loan. Even the FHA loan limits are dropping from 729 down to 625. So that's going to affect a lot of people, especially we have such a large increase in the home prices this year. So the loan limits also affect the rates. For example, like if your loans are below 417,000, you can get a loan with 5% down. If you are higher than that, maybe you need at least 10% down at 625. If you are higher than that, lenders won't give you a loan unless you have 20% down payment. Okay, so the thing is, loan limits the borrower's ability to repay based on their income, borrower's down payment that determines the loan to value ratio, borrower's income that gives them a certain percentage of their income to be used for housing payments. All those things end up affecting the borrower. For example, the borrower needs to also have a 2-year history to work in the same line of profession. And if somebody is a business owner, they have to be in the business for 2 years. Even though I have some lenders who will make exceptions, if somebody is not in the business for 2 years, that will work also.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amit. बहुत सारा एक informative session रहा ये about loan borrowing, underwriter, बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं जो हम सब लोगों को आपस में ही educate करना है. For all those who are listening and were unable to get through, you can always reach Amit Inamdar at ownsweethome.net. वो उनकी वेबसाइट है जहां पर काफी इंफॉर्मेशन आपको मिल जाएगी. उनका सेल नंबर है 5103646686 and he is always there between 4 and 4:30 on Radio Zindagi to help you answer any questions that you have. फिलहाल हमें जाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि टाइम हो गया है, but we'll be back again next Friday. So see you then. और खुद से कहिए जिए जा.
Own sweet home. I dream of my own sweet home. Right here, right now. Amit Inamdar will show you how. Call Amit and you are set. Or just visit